We've all looked at a demanding, uncompromising boss and labeled them the villain. We watch The Devil Wears Prada and we see Miranda Priestly as a tyrant in couture. But if we take our emotions out of the boardroom and take a closer look at what's going on, we see something entirely different, a masterclass in high-pressure refinement. Andy Sachs entered Runway looking down on the industry, thinking she could coast on her Ivy League degree. But Miranda didn't just break her down, she built her up. She took a raw, disorganized writer and forced her to develop the operational precision of an elite executive. That grueling year at Runway wasn't just hazing. It was the crucible that made Andy a journalist capable of surviving the real world. And that's who we see in The Devil Wears Prada 2. Welcome back to Suit and Screen. I'm Lady Ray, and today we're auditing the silver lining of The Brutal Boss. We're moving past the tears and looking at the talent development. It's time to talk about how extreme standards pull out the excellence you didn't know you had. In today's corporate climate, there's a massive push for comfort, but comfort rarely breeds competence. Sometimes the best career move you can make is stepping into a high-pressure environment specifically to get your edges polished. Andy initially treated Runway like a transactional pit stop, but Miranda's world demands total immersion. You can't survive an efficiency autocrat by giving 50%. You have to learn the language, anticipate the market, and sharpen your execution until it's flawless. The question isn't whether the boss is nice. The question is the pressure refining you into a diamond, or is it just crushing you into dust? Because when you finally master the Miranda standard, you become undeniable anywhere else. Okay, it's time to break down how high-pressure environments elevate your professional equity using the refinement framework. First, there's the anticipation metric, or predictive operations. Andy's turning point happened when she stopped waiting for Miranda to ask for things and started anticipating them. In high-level strategy, if your client or your CEO has to ask for the data, you're already behind. High-pressure refinement trains you to solve the problem 3 steps before it hits the radar. Then there's the Cerulean competency. You cannot skip the details. Miranda famously laid out the entire economic lineage of a simple blue sweater. The lesson? To be a true expert, you must know the history, the supply chain, and the infrastructure of your industry. Miranda forced Andy to stop skimming the surface and start respecting the data. Last but not least, and I'm sure it's something that everybody laments nowadays, the resume polish. Look at the ROI of Andy's suffering. When she finally decided to walk away, Miranda gave her a recommendation that essentially said, if you can survive me, you can conquer any newsroom on the planet. And she was 100% correct. Having been in a newsroom, she's right. That backing is currency. You endure the refinement for the lifetime value of that stamp. So what's our strategy here? Don't view a demanding leader as a roadblock. View them as a weight room. Use their impossible standards to build muscle memory for excellence so that when you move on to your actual passion, your execution is already elite. There's a moment in the film where Andy has to deliver the book to Miranda's home. It's a minefield of unspoken rules. Don't speak, don't walk upstairs, don't make eye contact. Andy messes up. But instead of quitting, she uses that failure to completely retool her operational strategy. She gets Nigel to overhaul her style, her mindset, and her work ethic. This is the pivot from victim to player. The moment Andy stopped complaining about the rules and decided to master the game, the power dynamic shifted. Miranda's relentless pressure forced Andy to drop her arrogance and pick up real capability. It forced her to discover what her true passion was and gave her the grit required to pursue it. Harsh? Sure. Effective? Absolutely. So what are we to take away from Miranda Priestly and Andy Sachs this episode? A demanding boss might give you a headache. And might is a very strong word, because I'm sure there are a lot of you right now listening to this podcast who are nursing a headache from that boss. But they will also give you a career. Here's what I mean. Excellence is a tool you take with you. Andy didn't stay at Runway, but she carried the discipline, the resourcefulness, and the poise she forged there straight into her dream journalism job. Again, this is the Andy we see in the beginning of The Devil Wears Prada 2. Master that pressure. Let it refine your toolkit and walk away with a resume nobody can question. I'm Lady Ray. This has been Suit and Screen. Next week, we're heading to Queens for the market research trip. We're auditing Coming to America to talk about why you can't lead an organization from an ivory tower. We're breaking down why Prince Akeem had to trade his silk robes for a mop bucket that he didn't ask for or didn't plan on, just to find out if his strategy and his product could actually survive in the real world. Stay sharp, stay stylish, and remember, try not to be the person that makes Miranda lament, "Why is no one rowdy?" I'll see you in the next scene.